Pulsating final term here at Optus Stadium sees the West Coast Eagles claim their first victory at home for season 2018. And the boys, well, they're looking at Gold Coast, 2 home games back to back. Welcome to Eagle Review, proudly sponsored by Kennards Hire. We're here in the West Coast Eagles change rooms, Benny Roberts, and what scenes it was here just recently. What a remarkable victory in the end.
Yeah, unbelievable. And the lid blew off halfway through, or toward the end of the final term here today. Unbelievable scenes. The atmosphere was amazing when the boys hit the lead and then sealed the deal. Unbelievable stuff with the crowd. Really exciting, and they played well. It's a lot of grit to get back into it, and 2-1.
Let's go back to that first quarter now. It was absolute dominance there. Probably should have got more reward on the scoreboard, but 24-10 inside 50s, dominating the contested disposals, on top of the clearances, and it was good to get good reward late in that last part of the first quarter, because for a little bit there, it was only looking like a 2-goal buffer going into quarter time.
Yeah, and the boys, as you said, could have been further ahead. They didn't quite kick as straight as they probably should have. 4 of the 7 goals from defensive change, so working well coming out of half-back. A lot of pressure, a lot of tackles and pressure acts, keeping the Cats' kicking efficiency down to 25%, which for a skilled team like Geelong, it shows what the boys were doing, and they were right on top.
Yes, I think Geelong then obviously flipped the switch come half-time, and I think a lot of West Coast Eagles supporters were absolutely stunned in their seats. See them kick 6 goals unanswered and had all the momentum of play. Their kicking efficiency, 25% in that early going, and then rose right up to 62, Benny. The Cats were just irresistible for that time, it must be said.
Absolutely, and pre-half-time, it was all Eagles. Bang, 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 bang. It's like they swapped jumpers at half-time and they've come out, and the Cats were unstoppable early in the third term. 8 marks inside 50. Hawkins got on top. Ablett, Dangerfield, absolutely everywhere. Just got the ball out in the middle and got it going forward. A lot of entries and made the most of it and hit the lead.
Plenty of good role players on the day for the West Coast Eagles. Luke Shuey, commendable effort. Elliot Yeo ended up going until 4 minutes in the second quarter until he got his first touch. That's remarkable to hear from the club champion, but Brad Shepherd copped a cork early in the game, played it out. It was remarkable down back.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sheppy was really good all day, particularly under duress early in the third quarter, as we touched on. Duggan going out meant Yowie probably had to go back. He spent time on Dangerfield when he went forward, did a really good job, and then was thrust into the middle late in the game, as we'll talk about in a little bit. But they were really good all day, and the defence, when the going was tough in that third quarter, really stood strong to keep them within arm's reach, and then allow them to spring forward in the last quarter.
Bit of a sweet and sour moment with Liam Ryan kicking that final goal, or one of the last goals for the West Coast Eagles, and seemingly he clutched his leg and everyone thought, oh no, has he done an ACL on the goal square, being the hero of the day.
Does things that other guys cannot do, an excitement machine. Clutch goal right at the end there. Boys lifted, the crowd lifted. Unfortunately went off. We'll have to wait and see early next week to see how he pulls up.
Signs though, not knee, ankle?
Ankle, lower, well I'm not sure, foot, ankle areas, ice down that region, and the St John got healthcare injury report on Tuesday will reveal all.
Nice pluggy plug there. Was there a better moment in the game than Nick Natanui's tap straight to Luke Shuey, goal from outside 50, and the celebrations and elation that came from that moment was pretty special.
Absolutely, and that's what Nick does, isn't it? Took us back to pre-knee with Nick, and he's been very good since he came back. And here's another plug for you. That's a whopper goal for Hungry Jacks on Wednesday for Eagles members.
I thought he killed Parfitt in his tackle though.
Wow.
Is he still out there buried in the turf?
2 tackles at the home games. He's gone bang and absolutely blitzed someone. First game against Sydney, free kick goal, and this time against Geelong. Oh my God, I worried for his health. Good to see him get up and push on young Parfitt.
How's him dazzling Gary Ablett too? Had no idea where he was, just a spin turn. LeBron James, are you? That was a pretty special moment as well. What about a couple of left footers that don't mind the old goal on the right, it seems?
When was the last time Andrew Gaff kicked a goal on his right foot?
I don't know, he's done it.
Yeah, so him and Dom Sheed, take it from me, they're not natural right footers. Slotting, wasn't Dom good today? Kicked a lot of goals and found a lot of the footy, good stuff from him, but yeah, don't see it often on the right.
Yeah, Gaffy reckons cops a lot of unfair criticism on the right foot, and rightfully so after goals like that. A couple of interesting deliberate calls here, Ben Roberts, and right in crunch time too. They didn't mind paying him. The Elliot Yeo one, contentious, and then obviously someone slipping over the line and just no ounce of sympathy there, was it?
Sitting next to a Geelong radio call team in the press box today, very unsure of what was going on, particularly with the slip. They thought they were very hard done by down in Geelong town. We probably felt equally as so with the Elliot Yeo one, 50-50. Let's all walk away.
Time now for our roast of the round, Benny. We look forward to them. Let's kick it off with Paddy Dangerfield, just throwing one a bit of outside the outstretched arms.
Bit slack.
Yeah, you're better than that, Danger. But didn't he make up for it then with reading the Gov, little quick handoff shot on goal, magnificent smother, but then big Bunga Hearn coming in to save the day. So
the damn wall. Jack Darling, not many people would know this, pushing for a West Coast all-time record.
You're kidding.
14 straight goals without missing. He was sitting on 13 going into today, hadn't missed for a long time. Ended up shooting from point blank range, it must be said. Should have kicked this. and missed it. Went to equal Don Holmes, the great Don Holmes, and the great Dean Cox with 14 straight goals. Not noted goal kickers, but there you go. They hold the reckord, 14 in a row.
Do you reckon he knew the stat? Was he rattled?
Probably. He always thinks about
No
things like
doubt.
that.
I think
so no
Don
doubt.
Holmes texts him all the time
Yep.
about it. Hungry Jacks will be real happy with this promo.
Second plug in this review.
Yeah, but real up close personal. I don't think they'll be happy about Blitzar's blood being all over their signage. But anyway, pushing on for Hungry Jacks. Colin Jasney's out on the full here, had about 3 weeks to think about what he was going to do with it, and Rioli let him know as well. So we'll roast him, and Rioli did too, which is wonderful.
Now, we like to roast and constructively roast here at the review. This one's for Dan Venables, a young man, only in his third game. Just a bit more talk here to tell Shep.
Oh,
that
no,
he's
Shep, you're not roasting Shep, you're
No,
roasting Venables.
Needs to talk, needs to tell him that he's hot. That's what you need to do. A bit more voice, Daniel, and you'll go a long way. Nick Nat Freshieri, he's better than that. He does not need to go Freshieri, he's better than that.
Big time. What about the umpire eating it here? Selwood running at a monstrous 2 knots per hour, but that was enough to knock the featherweight umpire to the ground, and we always do love that. But the winner, Ben Roberts.
Can I just quickly interject with some very honourable mentions?
Yes.
Friday night at the G, Carlton Collingwood, big as it gets. But the Collingwood cheer squad's misspelling the word night.
It is a difficult one.
It's always good humoured when the banner stuffs up the spelling, but that was very stiff to miss out because the winner is.
Because how could you go past? Moment in the third quarter, seemingly West Coast's only goal for the quarter. Chris Marston marking the goal square. Reckon he might go back the next time this happens, Benny. You never normally miss from 5 metres out, but gee, what does the evidence and the replay say here?
The freeze frame's killed him. The freeze frame has killed him because if you look at it in the high def slow-mo, his foot comes through after being touched on the ball and kicks the ball through. Look, we don't want to criticise.
That is exactly what we do.
Well,
We're
okay,
here
we
to
will.
criticise.
We are going to criticise, but we're going to do it the way that we won't get in trouble.
Awesome.
It's a criticise, should have been a goal.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your company here on location in the locker room at the new Optus Stadium for the West Coast Eagles. Cheers to Cards Hire. See you next week.
Get out, make it